morning, Seattle Kraken fans. It's time to rise and shine. Grab your mug, your coffee, your tea, your favorite frappuccino. Settle in for the first ever Morning Cup of Kraken. I'm excited to bring this segment to you guys, a little addition to the channel, and to catch you up on everything happening with the Kraken, at least that I know of at this moment. Right, lots of things going on. I'm going to take you around the league in about 10 minutes or less. All the latest NHL info to start your day off right. I'm coming to you from the Sasquatch studio for today's episode. I'm your host Mike, also known as Seattle Sasquatch on Twitter. That's at Sasquatch NHL if you're following along there. And I'm glad you guys are listening or watching. Maybe you're out on your drive to work or a jog, or maybe you're on transit somewhere. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And as always, it's much appreciated if you want to hit that subscribe button, give me a like. It's all great. So we've already got 10 minutes on the clock, on the coffee timer, I'm going to call it, and let's get right into today's edition of Morning Cup of Kraken. We'll talk a little bit about the last game against Tampa on Wednesday night at Climate Pledge Arena. They came out looking good. Gord got that first goal against his old team, but Tampa just kind of took the game over as it went. Things fell off the rails a little bit in the third period for the Kraken, and they fall 4-1 at home. Stamkos had 3 assists. Vasilevsky made 24 saves on 25 shots from the Kraken. And Victor Hedman ended up with 2 goals, powering the Lightning to a 4-1 win, moving their record to 39-15-6. Kraken falling to 18-38-6. Let's look at a few Kraken noteworthy items and news headlines. Of course, prior to that game, Calle Jarnkrok was traded to the Calgary Flames. The Flames got him, and in return, the Kraken received a few picks. They got a 2022 second-round pick, a 2023 third-round pick, a 2024 seventh-round pick, and the Kraken also going to retain 50% of his salary. The Kraken also celebrated Mark Giordano's 1,000th game that he played on the prior road trip, so that was cool. His dad did the narration for the video. He got some great applause and standing ovations. It was really a fun thing to see. And of course, Giordano is pretty much, not if but when, going to get traded. Latest rumor we're hearing now is that possibly Toronto's interested, but sounds like the Kraken want a first rounder in return, and potentially Kyle Dubas in Toronto doesn't want to give up that first rounder. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. I would bet that goes all the way down to the deadline on the 21st. A few other noteworthy things this morning. If you're able to make it out to the Kraken Community Iceplex, they're having an autograph session with Jeremy Lauzon just after their practice session around 10:30 a.m. So that'll be for kids. So if you want to get out there today and do that, kind of fun. And of course, the next game coming up is Saturday against the Detroit Red Wings right here in Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena. It's a special night. It's going to be Women of Hockey Night presented by Starbucks. A lot of cool things, a lot of cool merchandise and special items that are going to be for sale and displayed at the game. So try to get some tickets. Go check that out. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Puck drop right around 7 p.m. Should be a really good one. Detroit coming off of a shutout in Vancouver. So we'll see how the Kraken do against them. A couple other housekeeping news and notes. Front office news. Chris Daniels reported that Victor Debonis was promoted to the team president position. And also Samantha Holloway was named the Kraken executive chair, replacing her father, David Bonderman, who remains the majority owner. And of course, Todd Leiweke is still your Kraken CEO. So congrats to Samantha. It's pretty big news. Let's take a look around the league real fast at the scores last night. So we had the Blues. The Blues are trying to look to kind of find an even footing, but they go in and lose to Pittsburgh in a shootout. Kings blank the Sharks 3-0. The Kings are keeping pace pretty well in the Pacific Division playoff race right now, so that's interesting to see. Vegas beat Florida, except the problem there is that Jack Eichel got injured during the game, blocked a shot with his arm, and so he's probably going to be out. We'll have to see where that goes. Dallas also right on their heels. They get a win in overtime in Montreal, so they're keeping pace. Edmonton looking good. Now with the coaching change, they beat Buffalo, who also lost to Calgary the other night, so a little bit of a rough trip for Buffalo on the road so far. Like I said, you see Detroit beat Vancouver 1-0, coming off of that shutout, so they're going to come down into Seattle, See how things go. Also, a heavyweight matchup in the East. The Carolina Hurricanes lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2 as Austin Matthews is set to return from his 2-game suspension. So let's catch up real quick on the latest headlines, trade deadline news, notable trades so far. So we've seen Ben Sherratt go to Florida from Montreal. Obviously, Calle Yarncrook went from our Seattle Kraken over to the Calgary Flames. Frank Vatrano traded by Florida to the New York Rangers, so that's pretty interesting. He's a great player. Maybe more of a cap space maneuver there to see how that works out. The Ducks traded Josh Manson over to the Colorado Avalanche, solidifying their blue line a little bit as they head into a pretty favorited position going into the playoffs. And like we mentioned before, it's very likely that Giordano's going to get traded. I would guess it goes all the way down to the deadline. And out of Philadelphia, sounds like Claude Giroux is going to be on the move. We'll keep an eye on that. If you want to keep up with me on Twitter, I'll try to retweet and post anything I find out as we get closer to the deadline. And a couple injuries to point out. Thomas Chabot, he's going to be out for the season with a fractured hand. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Jack Eichel is now out for Vegas after blocking that shot versus the Panthers. To get an update on him probably later in the day. See how that goes. So let's take a quick look at the current standings, the playoff picture. In the East, you've got the Florida Panthers on top of the Atlantic, with Tampa and Toronto right behind them, 84 and 83 points, kind of jockeying for position there. On top of the Metropolitan Division, you've got Carolina in the first position with 87 points. Right underneath of them is Pittsburgh and New York, and they're within a couple points of each other. So some great matchups at the top of the divisions in the East. The wild card gets a little less interesting. You've basically got Boston and Washington jockeying for the last two spots there. And outside of that, Columbus is the next closest team at 65 points. I don't really see them catching up as we head down the stretch. Could be wrong, but we'll see. But it will probably be the tops of the divisions bouncing in and out of the wild card spots in the East as we go down towards the end of the year. In the West, we've got Colorado just powering through. They've got 91 points. They're good. Watch out for Colorado. Calgary leading the Pacific Division with 81 points. And things get a little bit messy down in the wild card positioning. You've got Nashville and Vegas right now in the 1 and 2 spot for the wild cards, but Dallas is right there on the edge. Vancouver, and not too far back from there, I think Anaheim is close as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on the wild card positions in the West. It's going to be some really good competition as we go down the stretch. Push for the playoffs. It's always good in the NHL. Let's take a quick look at tonight's games. We've got another full slate, 6 games on tap. Capitals are going to face the Hurricanes, a couple of the heavyweights out east again. Then you've got the Panthers going into Anaheim, continuing their West Coast swing. Doesn't get any easier for Buffalo. They're going into Calgary to face one of the top teams in the West. And Colorado goes to visit San Jose in the tank. Sharks losing to the Kings last night, trying to find some footing, but not looking good in San Jose right now. But they just signed Thomas Hertl for 8 years, $8 million, so good news there, I guess. So let's take a quick look at the Kraken's next game against the Red Wings. They're going against a team that just shut out the Vancouver Canucks. Looks like Gio's obviously going to be out for trade reasons, asset protection. Potentially have Winberg out of the lineup as well. We'll have to see what the reports are there. He's out day to day with an upper body injury as far as I can tell. And looks like Nedeljkovic for Detroit is going to go in goal, and probably Grubauer for your Kraken. That's just all up in the air at this point. We'll see as we get closer to game time who's actually in net. But should be a great game. Hopefully you guys can make it out there. Like I said, it's going to be a great night. Lots of cool things going on. I'm actually going to be able to go post-game live after that, do another rapid reaction show. So if you guys want to hop in after the game, chat with me, we can talk hockey and talk trade deadline. That'd be fantastic. So that's going to do it for this edition of your Morning Cup of Kraken. I'll be back live again this Saturday for post-game rapid reaction after the Detroit and Seattle game from Climate Pledge Arena. Hope you guys had a great time doing this with me. Hope you come back. I hope you had a great Kraken-filled start to your day. And as always, if you want to subscribe or like, it would be very much appreciated. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you soon. Have a great Friday. We'll talk to you later.